Hi, my name is Chris Lee, and thank you for joining us. I'm sitting here with Matt Stegich. He is the attorney and escrow officer for Chicago Title. A little bit about his background: he's a Yale undergrad in political science, and he went to LSU for his Juris Doctorate. So, leading in, this video is going to be mainly about for sale by owner. Can a title office, or can you assist a for sale by owner with their transaction?
We do very often. We are limited in that capacity because technically we are a third party, neutral party in the closing process. So once a property is under contract, we can lead you through to get you to the closing. We still do all the things we would normally do with a agent driven transaction. We'll take care of the sellers and ordering surveys and payoffs, and we'll work with the buyer's lenders to make sure that everything goes accordingly. But we, of course, can't get involved with the contract process. So when it comes to negotiations, amendments, scheduling your inspection, your appraisal, stuff like that, we aren't involved. So that is something to keep in mind going forward, is that you don't have someone looking out for you on that end through those transactions.
Yeah, and that is an important piece of it, because all of those happen very quickly and it's very front loaded in the transaction itself. So, leading right into that, hiring an agent for sale by owners. I guess from what you've seen on agentless transactions, is it smart to have an agent in your corner?
I would always advise someone to have an agent in their corner, just because you have someone who acts as basically your shepherd, as your representative through the closing process. They have a fiduciary duty to you to make sure that you get the best deal in the transaction. So when it comes to marketing the property, they're going to make sure that it's marketed aggressively. They're also going to make sure that when negotiating the contract, they've done it in the best interest of their party. So that way you're looking at a tough negotiated contract that basically makes it more of a business-like transaction. We run into a lot of friendly transactions, and they have perils because you're not adversarial, you're not guaranteeing yourself the most money that you can for the property, because everybody's friendly in the transaction. You don't know, market conditions the same when it comes to negotiating for repairs, if you have to renegotiate after an appraisal, if it were to come in low, stuff like that an agent is very important for. So that way you know that you're getting the best deal possible for your property, and you have someone to lead you through the closing process. Agents work with us. They have experience on the closing, just to make sure that everything closes on time and doesn't cost you any extra money that it shouldn't in the closing process.
And that's a good point, because I want to go back and highlight one thing you said: getting the best deal. And sometimes the best deal doesn't always mean money. There are a lot of things in the contract, timelines, negotiated things like surveys and residential contracts, things like that, that could creep up and make it a bad deal. So a lot of people always, money is, a main reason for a good deal, but also there are other things that can creep up, and agents, some of these agents out there have been working this contract for, I've been working it 12 years. People have been working at 20 and 25. They know it. And if somebody doesn't know the contract, to bring up fiduciary, they've got an agent has a fiduciary responsibility to leverage that contract in favor of their client, to get their client the best deal possible. And if you don't know that contract, you could follow. There are some pitfalls in there. So, again, having that kind of, like you said, shepherd, guide you through and make sure that what's common and what's not common could be advantageous.
Right. It could cost you several $1,000s either way. As you mentioned, there's realtors who work on this contract 10, 20, 30 times a year, when a for sale by owner without an agent on the buyer's end, someone like that may only work that contract once a lifetime. So you have to know that contract inside and out, and it's a legally binding document. And once you're under contract, it's something that could, if something went wrong, you could end up in court. So I think it's important to have someone who has your best interest in mind, and only your best interest in mind. That way you know that you are in best possible position when it comes to negotiating, closing, all the way through that process.
Absolutely. Very important. Hey, thank you for your time, Matt.
No problem.
If you have questions, if you are considering a for sale by owner, and if you have questions about things that you need to get in order, reach out to Matt Stegich here at Chicago Title in North Dallas. If you'd like to sit down with an agent and get an honest opinion about what you can do, I would love to sit down and have an honest conversation with you. I'm not a salesy sales technique guy. I'm more of a consultant to you throughout this process. Give me a call anytime. North Dallas Residential YouTube channel with Chris Lee, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.